because I'm obsessed with making sure that what we're delivering for training is real. It's tactical. It tells agents what to do, when to do it, how to do it, how to go about it, use this email, use this script, use this text, and walks them through each and every single step. And that's different than anyone else out there. There's a lot of great real estate trainers out there, there's no question. But I don't know of any that teach agents specifically what steps to take and when to take them. And that's the biggest differentiator with ours. I truly have a passion for training. I thoroughly enjoy teaching people how to do things. And what I find about people is most people need to know each and every step, and they need to be very clear on it. If they're not clear on each and every step, they lose confidence, their delivery isn't as strong, and then they don't convert. They're not able to get people to come to them. So the more we train them, the more we raise their confidence, and then they're able to do more and more business. And that's exactly why, one of the biggest reasons why we've been able to bring people in that are doing 4 sales a year at other companies. They come with us, and in the first year they're doing 15. The second year they're doing 25. Well, a massive part of that is training. I think a big misconception about training, or our training, is, oh, it's for new agents. No, it's not for new agents, okay? It's for agents at all levels. If you think you're great and you think you don't not training, I have news for you. You're probably mistaken. You are mistaken, being totally blunt about it. We have agents come in here that sell 40, 50 homes a year. They take our training and then they're selling more. We have events around the country, and we have people show up selling 100 homes a year and then they sell more. So it works for all different levels. And the reason it works is agents often don't realize when they're missed opportunities. They don't realize when they bump into someone at the corner store, what you say matters. What you say will either attract that prospect to you or scare them away. When you get the typical, we're not ready yet, we're not ready yet. Well, there's certain things you should say and a certain way you should go about that. Certain things you should send them that will attract them. Years ago, back when I had a team model, we would do a training like once a month, every other month when something went wrong. And we're, oh, everybody in the conference room, you know, all 7 of us. And then we'd sit down and we'd talk, and I'd explain this, that, I'd preach. We'd walk out and not do it again for 6 weeks. And then in about 2012 was when we made a major shift. That's when we really accepted the fact that we weren't doing well with buyers. I mean, it's just a fact. We weren't. We were selling tons of listings with the team, and we weren't doing well with buyers. And I knew we had to do something totally different. And we hired an outside consultant. I traveled around the country. I studied what methods other companies were using for buyer conversion. And one of the things I realized is we were doing a lot wrong. I mean, this is in the summer of 2012, and I was like, all right, so where do we start? And we started just with some basics. And within 2 weeks of training each week, I saw an improvement. And then we kept at it every week, and this consultant would come in once a month, and then I would fill the weeks in between. And I noticed the more I did it, the better I got better at the training, and the more I, made people laugh and kept it a little bit entertaining. But the more I also found out about how many things we were doing wrong. I mean, I hate to admit it, but it's true. We were. What did you say to a buyer? What did you say to a seller? All right, no, you don't want to explain it that way. You want to explain it this way. So once I got through like the first month of every single week having consistent training, I started making all kinds of notes on things we were doing wrong, and then it would help me build my curriculum for, well, I say curriculum, in those days, my notes for the next week. And then each week, we just kept building on it and repeating and repeating. And that was around August 2012. By the time we got to November, we were converting more, doing more business, going into slow season. And I was like, this is interesting. The more we train, the more sales we do. That was when I said, okay, every week we're gonna train on sellers. And in those days, we did buyers in the morning, sellers in the afternoon. Those years, 12 and 13, is when our weekly training was really born. In those days, training was every Thursday. Why, I don't know. But then it ended up switching to Wednesday, and it's been Wednesday ever since. And now we're in a position in the company that's just, it's expected. It's like, it's a gospel. Everybody knows training day is Wednesday. As the time went on, I just got better and better about starting to document, like, okay, seller training, and then it was like 2 pages, right? Now we get these curriculums, we got videos, it was like 2 pages. And I would go in each week and we would go over, okay, what do you do on a seller lead call? What do you do between the time that you Book the appointment and the time that you go on the appointment. Every specific step you should take, what do you do? What do you do on the listing appointment? When do you go over pricing? Blah, blah, blah. What do you do at the end of the appointment? Then when the appointment's done, then what do you do? And I found that the more and more we dialed in the specific steps that everyone should do, the better and better everyone got, and the more it worked. So the more that happened, the more it motivated me to do it even more. Once I realized that the training was having such an impact on the agents, again, going back to those years of 14, 15, we knew we needed to come up with a training company, right? And I was determined to name it Real Training, because I said, that's what we're going to have. Our training is real, it's different, it's very specific, and it's very actual, right? We train on real scenarios. Sitting across from a seller, the seller's grumpy, they want more money. Sitting across from a buyer, the buyer's grumpy because they're not able to land a property. And that's why we named the company Real Training and Systems, right? And then a pivotal moment was in 2016. I was down in Virginia fishing with a great friend of mine, Ashley, and I'm on the back of the boat and he's in the front of the boat, and he's asking me about our conversion. And he says, Anthony, how many buyers are you guys converting off of online leads? And I said, about 9.5%. And he says, Anthony, nobody's doing that. What are you doing differently that you guys are able to convert 9.5% of your online buyer leads and my company's converting 1%? I said, well, it's our training. I told you, we train every single week. He says, training, how do you get this training? I said, well, we have people that come in, our conference room is overflowing before we had this, right? And we put the training out on Skype. I remember that's what we used at the time, to our other branch office. And he says, why don't you Skype it to my office? He says, what would it cost to Skype it to my office every week and get my agents the materials? And I gave him a number. And he says, sounds good, let's do it. Told him so much a month. And I was like, okay, right? I was very excited. My first training customer outside the company. So I remember flying home thinking, all right, I've got about 8 or 10 pages of training that's basically what I read. It's my notes to remind me what to say, and I hand it out to our agents, but it's got typos all over it. This is like training notes. This isn't like a curriculum. And I was like, all right, well, I really got to get to work on this, because now they're a customer. They're starting, I remember they were starting in September, and it was like end of July when I was fishing with them. Lo and behold, their company grew 38% in 6 months. And here's the funny thing. The 6 months was from September 1st to spring, which is the slower time of year. And I was like, this is interesting. Okay, so now our training is having an impact on someone that's outside of our ecosystem. And then it was a customer in New York, and it just kept going, and they kept growing. And that's when I said, all right, I really need to improve this. So now here we are, almost 10 years after we really started training every week, and half dozen years since we started offering it nationally, or I should say internationally. We have customers in Canada. And now we've really dialed it in. And I honestly, I would have said that even 5 years ago. We've had our training down for some time. And we've also made it so that it really helps new agents, brand new. It helps agents that they come in, they're selling 10 homes a year. It helps them get to 20 and 30. It helps experienced agents.